Hello, friends. Mrs. Muller here for your reading lesson for today. How is everybody? Good. Hey, let's have a quick check-in for today. What word did I just say? Did I just say good? Ha! How about that? That's our new word for this week, one of our new sight words, good. Good. Now, last week we talked about look. And in this case, also two O's, and they're making that sound. Look, book, good. Okay? Good. Good. All right. I need everybody to stand up. Yes, you. Everybody up. Good. Okay, we're going to do jumping jacks. First time is jumping jacks. Do it with me. Ready? We're going to spell it and then say it. One jumping jack for each letter. Here we go. G-O-O-D. Good. Great. This time let's do leg lifts. Be careful of what's around you. Don't hurt yourself. Do a leg lift for each letter and then a final leg lift when we're done. Ready? Leg lifts. Here we go. G-O-O-D. Good. Great. Now for the last one, let's twirl around. Okay, now again, be careful. Don't get too dizzy. You run into things. Here we go. Spin around for each letter. Ready? G-O-O-D. Good. And I'm going to say, good. Good job. All right. Now you've kind of gotten revved up. So let's sit back down, settle in, find your comfy couch, your comfy chair, whatever works for you. Okay. And let's try those cookie breaths. We're just going to do 2 today. Okay, just 2. Ready? Remember when you breathe in through your nose, oh, you smell that delicious cookie. And then when you breathe out, you're cooling it off so you can eat it. Now let's see. Make your choice. We got peanut butter, sugar, chocolate chip, oatmeal raisin. Snickerdoodle. I'm having a snickerdoodle today. I love the smell of the cinnamon. Okay, ready? Breathe in, smell that cookie. Remember, I do like to close my eyes because then I just kind of visualize that cookie right there. Okay, I'm going to breathe in and breathe out. Good, let's do one more. Breathe in. Oh, that smells so good. Now cool it off. Ready? Okay, I think we're ready. Super. Now we are starting a new unit and it is called How Can Ideas Help Us? How can ideas help? How can new ideas help us? How can new ideas help us? So instead of doing the same old thing over and over again, because that's the way you've always done it, what might happen if you try something new? I don't know. We're going to learn about for this unit, okay? So again, how can new ideas help us? Alrighty. And specifically for this week, our theme is about what can happen when we work together. Now, I would hope we've already learned that a little bit from our classrooms. What happens when we work together? When you go to centers at the end of the day and you're working with blocks and there's maybe a couple other people there with you, what can happen when you work together? What happens? Yeah, you all kind of have your own ideas and you combine them and you work together and you come up with an even more fabulous thing than you ever would have made on your own, right? Right. So when you work together, it gets everybody's good ideas together and then you come up with something just super fabulous, which actually happens in the book I'm going to read you today. Okay? And speaking of that book, there are a couple of comprehension objectives we need to talk about. One is, it's called different things. In this case, I'm going to call it events. It's also called sequencing. It's also called beginning, middle, end, which is what they're showing you here. So it's just the plot of the story. What are the events in the story and what order do they happen in? Okay, so first you would have the beginning, and I think this is telling us maybe about their day at school. So in the beginning, what are they doing? Yep, looks like they're sitting on the floor and they're reading. What happens in the middle of their day? Oh, looks like they've got some arts and crafts going on, maybe playing with a little Play-Doh there, okay? And then what happens at the end of the day? Oh, yep, it looks like they're doing some more literacy work, okay? So that's kind of the order of their day. And that's what, when you talk about sequencing the events, or you talk about the plot of the story, it's the order that things happen in. Okay, so we'll talk about that some with the story. And also about predictions. It's about making, confirming, and revising your predictions. Now, let me ask you a question because I ask my class this all the time. Does your prediction have to be right? Oh, goodness, no. Your prediction does not have to be right. It just means your brain is thinking, it's thinking about the story, what might happen next. And if you predict correctly, okay, that's great. If maybe you're a little bit off and not quite right, that's okay too. That's when you you revise, which means you go, oh, well, so that didn't happen. And since that didn't happen, now this is what I think might happen next. Okay, so you make your prediction, you think about what might happen next. It doesn't have to be right. If it is, you go, okay, I guess I was right, and you move on. And if it wasn't, you go, well, that means I'm going to have to change my idea now. I'm going to have to rethink that about what might happen next in the story. Okay, either's fine, doesn't matter. Just means you're thinking about the story and what might happen next. Okay, great. Now, I'm going to intro the book just a little bit because we need to talk about the genre, which remember is informational text, maybe fantasy, maybe just fiction. We have a lot of choices there. I'm going to show you the cover of the book. I think it's going to give it away. Here we go. So we have a little mouse. And the title is, What's the Big Idea, Molly? I would guess that's Molly down there. What is she doing? Yeah, she's trying to write something. Does it look like she's happy with how it's going? No, look at all those crumpled up pieces of paper. So she's trying to write something and it's maybe not going quite the way she thought it would. Okay, so you have an animal who is writing, and I'm guessing this animal might also talk. So if we have an animal who's writing and an animal who can talk, is that going to be informational text? Or is it going to be oh yeah, you already beat me to me. You already beat me to it, didn't you? You said fantasy, and you're right. It's going to be fantasy. All righty? Great. So we have a story, fantasy. It's about big ideas. It's about Molly and her big ideas. And we'll see what happens with our predicting. And then at the end, we'll talk about the beginning, middle, and end of the story. Okay? All right. That's the end of part 1. Please make sure you check part 2 so you can hear the story.